Up next on DiCHiPi Unfiltered.
Okay, and Tabby Singh is definitely that girl that you and I can relate to. She's got a crush on a boy, and you, ma'am, need to tell us all the tea because who doesn't love talking about boys?
Hey, no man, as Tabby saying, I think boys have traumatized me.
You are a strong girl. You are a powerful girl.
No, but sometimes I really need to see vulnerability as weakness and be okay with that. You know, we can't be in Bogotos every day.
I am classified as the clown, okay, in my friendship circle.
Ah, you're the clown.
I know I look serious.
You're so serious.
Yeah, because I don't know you like that.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm
Sorry.
joking. But I mean,
Stranger danger.
time and place, yeah?
Yes, 100%.
So in my safe space, I'm a clown because that's how we are. But when I was going through my worst, I laughed the loudest.
DiCHiPi Tsasalda. Welcome to the very last episode of DiCHiPi Unfiltered. My name is Barbara and I'm going to be your host today, but I'm so excited because today we're not going to have just one guest, but we're going to have 4 guests on the podcast. And it's a special one because in the building with us, we've got Miss Eileen Lwando Smith, all the way from Zambia, residing in South Africa with a lovely family. She'll tell us all about it, but really what inspires me about her story is that she had a pivotal moment at the age of 17 where something happened and she was like, I need to do something for the future 17-year-old who finds herself in that very situation. Welcome the founder of Ituba, 16 Reasons to Give, and Emotional Baggage Depot, Miss Eileen. Hello.
Sure, I need to match your energy.
She's like,
How
I
are
need
you
to
doing?
match your energy. It's Red Bull. That's the
Sure,
secret.
gave you more than wings.
Yes, give me more than wings. Like I literally, my mom did like an intervention in the group chat this morning where she was like, Barbara, we need to talk about your energy drink usage. And I was like, relax, babes. It's not every day. It's just once a week. I think I'll be fine. I think I'll be fine. Have you survived off of Red Bulls in your
I
life?
don't drink Red Bull.
Oh, really? At all?
No.
No energy drinks for you. So you're doing
coffee.
all these things in your portfolio
Coffee.
with just coffee?
Coffee.
That's crazy. It's giving superwoman.
Coffee and a few herbals, but yeah.
And a few herbals, like
herbal
wink,
things.
wink.
Yeah.
But Miss Eileen, I really want to get into your NLP work and your life coach work because today on the episode we're going to be bringing in the different characters from the story. So
Okay.
throughout the season we've had different mental health experts, financial experts, sexual health experts, kind of guiding us through different things. But if there's one thing that we've never gotten to do is deal with the issues that they face mentally in the show head on, and that's why I brought you on today. So I want to know, what is a life coach? Like, what does a life coach actually do in real life?
I can't answer that question, unfortunately. I didn't go into coaching to help people, but to help myself.
Okay.
And I just found myself helping others, you know, in the process. So my journey began when I was trying to understand pain. So I wanted to meet it face to face and truly understand it because I was struggling. I was like, no, this can't be life. You know, I had lost my son and it was consuming me. And I saw a course and I'm like, hey, let me try it. So it didn't end at coaching. It ended at, I did life coaching, I did Reiki, I did access bars.
Yeah, your bio's long, hey?
Yeah. So anything to do with just understanding how to balance yourself, I did that. And I literally found myself the most peaceful when I started meditating. But meditation to meet myself in my darkest place and pull myself out of it. So in terms of a life coach, the essence is just to teach people how to unpack. It's more questions. It's not advice. I don't give advice. I'm not qualified for that because I can't take responsibility for your outcome.
100%.
So it was just questions, conversations. With my baggage depot, it was just conversations. I would unpack my story and allow people to relate to it and use techniques through NLP that I loved that would help you think. So it's more of a thinking mechanism rather than it's a tool that can be given to you than you just going for help. But again, you can't coach a person that is not ready to be coached.
Yes.
So not everyone is coachable.
Yeah.
Not everyone wants to go out of a pity party. Not everyone wants to be helped.
That's
because
so real.
You know that saying, misery loves company?
Yes.
It's not a person, it's a thought.
drops mic. That was tough. I think it sounds like you're more of a conduit than you are the person who solves the problem for someone. So you're taking someone on a journey from point A to point B, and hopefully they are willing to walk that journey and do the rest of the work. But I'm wondering, when you're saying you did that to help yourself and not necessarily to help other people, what was it in your mental health journey that helped you get to the point where you were willing to accept help?
I just realized that my kids needed me. So, there's this thing, when you lose someone or when you go through a tough time, the first thing people do is say, be strong. And I was at a point where I was like, I need to be weak, but no one is allowing me my weakness.
Tough.
And in my weakness, I'm like, I need to find tools now to be strong. And that's where I found coaching. But what I also realized that I found my strength in my weakness, because then I learned all these tools and things to unpack and to get better. And I can't say that I am better, but I can say that I am clear-minded. I don't have these nagging thoughts, and everything is triggered by thoughts. It's literally, and that's what I learned through coaching was, every reaction and every emotion is stemmed from a thought. I went to see a psychologist.
She said,
and no, I mean, literally, the first thing she said to me was, you'll be okay, be strong. And I looked at this woman and I'm like, you don't
paying you money,
know me.
save me.
Not even that. Don't save me. But like, you can't tell me I will be okay. You can't tell me to be strong, because I've walked into your room after losing a child and I'm in tears and you're telling me be strong. Like, you're giving me a heaviness, asking someone to be strong in times of weakness is giving them something extra to carry on top of the grief, on top of the rejection, on top of everything else. So I've learned that, another thing I also wanted to do through the coaching was get to a point where I'm able to look at people and not react or respond. Because grief makes you ugly. Anger makes you ugly. And I was just trying to find myself. So I literally found myself in a place of getting help, but then while I was sitting in this room learning about NLP and everything else, I'm like, hold on. Healing should not be a privilege. And that's why I had the baggage depot, because instead of you paying me per session, I'd rather help a group of ladies that can't afford to pay per session, or I don't believe they should be. I'll give you the tools. Go home. It's not a privilege. Go home and help yourself. So that's how I started the emotional baggage depot. And then that went on to the townships with the Jazina Michelle, with the Kutluka movement. I did models. I worked in Diepsloot, in Eldorado Park, in Soweto. And I trained women in the townships to support other women.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm just so moved by your story, because you're perfectly aligned for the conversations that we're having. I mean, DiCHiPi by JiK'iZiNTO is backed by an organization that believes in the power of the girl child and believes that nothing should be a privilege. Healthcare shouldn't be a privilege. Everyone deserves an equal chance to the life that they were born to live and to live out their potential. So I'm really glad that you're here today, because if you watch the series, you'll see throughout the show, the characters keep on having thoughts. They have these mirror sessions where they sit in front of themselves and their thoughts kind of play out, and we get to see their thoughts. But never have we been able to really sit down and unpack those thoughts and really deal with them. So I'd love to bring the girls in.
Fantastic. I'd love
The
to
show
meet
is set in Soshanguve, so definitely girls in your area code.
Nice.
And hopefully we can find some solutions for them to get to the
Fantastic.
other side. All right, so it's time to call Tabby Singh. But before we bring her in, let's have a refresher course on exactly what her life looks like.
Akutshepe. O lekile video yaka. O ntse o itse gore ke feel bjang ka yona.
Eileen Lwando ngizama ukutshela yona ngithi ukuthi akusimini ulinkele ya video urorisana.
Sama Tomo. Rorisana na iranga funa. Sabo bedi why o sankarabi?
Angisho yazi ukuthi urorisana uyangifuna yabo. Mara mina ngifuna wena yabo, ngifuna wena kuphela. Ngifuna wena ngempela. Umane wayizela la sangimbize uyichamukela.
Okay. So nakohle. Ke nna style.
Angikwenzi silimi, ngiyazi ukuthi ngiyakuthanda nje. Ayikho into eyenzakala.
Stay. Akutshepe. O lekile video yaka. Sfatlo sa ka sa trend mo social media. And no so ke joke ko bathong.
Ngixolisa.
Stop it. Did you? Shh. Wait again. I'm glad I got Rubalalwen. When I little sang, let's FiNALE. Match made in heaven.
Baby.
Okay, and Tabby Singh is definitely that girl that you and I can relate to. She's got a crush on a boy, and you, ma'am, need to tell us all the tea because who doesn't love talking about boys?
Hey, no man, as in Tabby saying, I think boys have traumatized me.
How?
Ay.
Trauma is the word.
No, man, I was living my life, Gatle, finding myself.
Ne?
You
Until
know,
a six-pack shirtless man walked in the building, even though he was shirt full, and you are the one who undressed
but
him with
do
your
not
eyes.
say the last part. He was shirtless. So yeah, I feel like after that certain moment, that's when everything, not really trembled, but the tremble led up to something big, something I got to explore on Tabby Singh. Because from that, she got to be curious about her sexual reproductive health. And it just started as wanting to be intimate with this certain person. But after that, after the betrayal and all of that, she got to notice, or no, I need to learn about these things for myself.
Yes.
You get what I mean? So yeah, no. Yeah, after that boy, I'm traumatized.
You're traumatized. It's good that
Yeah.
you're traumatized because at least now those who are traumatized by boys and dating can come and unpack and watch this
Yeah.
session. Because I think what's really special about Tabby Singh's journey is the fact that it's a topic that most of us feel ashamed to talk about. Like, I don't want to go up to my mom and say, I've got my first crush, you know, or I'm curious about sex. And sometimes in Black and African households, it's not necessarily a conversation that's encouraged. So hopefully you'll be able to give us the answers we're looking for. She said side-eye.
Yeah, that's why we're
Well-
scared of talking about these type of things.
You see?
Not at all. So one thing I've learned is that as a mom, I've realized that when you make children or teenagers or anyone ashamed, they make mistakes. So most bad decisions are made in circumstances of shame.
Yes.
You know, so when we feel guilty about something, it brings about shame. Then you make one mistake and you make another mistake. The one thing that I did pick up with what Tabby Singh said was that she realized that she was exploring and learning for herself in the end. And that's what a lot of young women do nowadays. I'm not going to speak on the men because I'm not a man, I'm a woman.
Yes.
As a young girl, if I look at my younger version of myself, is firstly, I didn't understand the origins of love. I didn't understand the version of love truly that, you know, I took my mom's experience, for instance, if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. And then I took my father and said, okay, this is the ideal version of a man. And then anything that looked like him, I would say, okay, this is it. And anything that didn't, I would say, this isn't it. But I didn't take the time to understand as in what can Eileen give and what shouldn't Eileen take.
Yeah.
So we have that saying of, I gave myself to him, or he took everything. No, you give. We get to a point where we give, but we don't even understand why we're giving. And I'm glad that she came to that realization of me first, them after. Even as a mother, I come before my kids. Because if I'm not okay, my house can't function. So I think that self-love is such a big thing. And, you know, a lot of young girls don't understand that your body is not the definition of love.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Attention is attention. Lust is lust. And that's it. So it's just the dynamics of understanding, conversations, and moms not feeling the shame to share enough with the youth. You know, there's that shame of, oh, you know, maybe I would prefer to be fully honest with my kids and say, listen, these are the mistakes I made. And if you're going to try and match them, let's see how you survive them.
You know what I liked? I liked you saying me first. And honestly, I feel like deep down is what Tabby Singh does, but unaware. So to this next clip, we'll see how she talks to herself because she puts her first. So she has to talk to herself first. So let's look at it. And the way the pressure Libian, I gave Rostani. Yaure, who should have fellow Baby scoreboard? Bas be go pela rena, but Tabby Singh about some punny guava. Ay, Tabby Singh 0, Rory sang 10. Sorry. Sorry. Anyways. And then stay 8. What's this 10? Untshwere ka re ke video game. O batla go unlock yena. Level 1, level 2, level 3, level ke itsenale.
So I think you can definitely relate to that moment where something hurts so bad that all you can do is make jokes about it. But I really want to pose the question to you, Eileen, and that is it a healthy way for us to deal with our emotions? Making jokes and laughing?
No, you're not going to like what I'm about to say.
I
Well,
love
okay, so I am classified as the clown, okay, in my
Okay.
friendship
Okay.
circle.
Ah,
I
you're the
know-
clown.
I know I look serious.
You're
but-
so serious.
Yeah, because I don't know you like that.
Oh, okay,
No,
sorry.
I'm joking. But I mean,
Stranger danger.
time and place, yeah?
Yes, 100%.
So in my safe space, I'm a clown because that's how we are. But when I was going through my worst, I laughed the loudest.
Yeah.
Because the loudest laugh has the biggest echo. And that's how I see it. Like, yeah, it's fine. We can sit in the mirror and make jokes about it, but that doesn't patch up the hurt that we're feeling.
Yeah.
That's avoidance. It's not facing.
It's masking.
Yeah, it's like literal avoidance. Like that's going around the problem. And you know how when you go to a doctor and the doctor asks you, you feel sick, and you'll say, yeah, my throat's sore, my head's sore. It's the same with pain. You have to look for the symptoms, like what was the cause? And then you'll probably find that what she's going through had nothing to even do with the breakup. It stems from a past of something she experienced even as a child, and then she manifested this rejection without even realizing it. So our fears often become our reality. She feared giving herself away. And she found laughter as a coping mechanism. But it was a mechanism, but not a tool.
Yeah, but it's a tool, the first tool to coping.
She said it's the first tool to coping.
To coping.
As a comedian.
Yeah, I mean, Tabby Singh can really be vulnerable to other people. She has a close group of friends, but she wants to see other people happy. And she can't really just become transparent to her friends. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like with her talking to herself first, it's a step forward. It's a
I mean, maybe
tool.
the talking to yourself might be a
Yeah.
thing, and maybe that's a conversation that we can talk about. But I think the laughing, like she's saying, is definitely you masking it.
Laugh
But no,
through the pain.
you said she wants other people to be happy.
Yeah.
So are
she
you saying when
does.
people are laughing, they're happy? Or are they laughing?
It's a sign of happiness.
No, it's not.
It's a
laughter.
sign.
Think about it. If you're going through a crisis and something
Yeah.
makes you laugh, does the crisis go away?
No, I also do love through the pain.
Yes, but does it mean you're happy?
A sigh. A sigh. Most of the time.
So what I'm saying is a lot of people would rather avoid it
Yeah.
than face it. And there's nothing wrong with laughing through the pain. But how long are you going to laugh until you deal with it?
Until she's okay.
And how are you going to know if she's okay if you're not dealing?
Ish, guys, she will deal with it.
You mentioned
But yeah.
vulnerability.
Yeah.
Okay, so already I picked up that you feel that vulnerability is a weakness.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's actually the most liberating thing anyone can do. If you look at motivational speakers, okay, and that's what I realized through my path is motivational speakers, authors, everyone.
Yeah.
We have all only been able to help people because we were able to be vulnerable. Do you know how difficult it is to lay your heart in an audience, like tell them about your trauma and your pain and everything you've been through? But when you walk away, you're liberated because you realize that your experiences don't define you anymore.
Yeah.
You're not what you go through. You are who you become because you've gone through it. So it is such a process, and it's a lot to think about, I know. But I am that person.
Yeah.
Yes, I laugh, but it doesn't make me happy.
Okay, so
That
what
is so
are...
good. But I wanna ask one more question before we let her go, because we need to bring in your next patient for you to, well, not patient, the next person for you to psychoanalyze. But do you think in her journey as a comedian, then she should have harnessed that heartbreak and used that audience as a sort of tool to kind of grow through that?
Look, she shouldn't use the word. She could have literally taken the comedy as comedy and that. Okay, but not confused it with a way of
Dealing
healing.
with.
Because that's avoidance, right? So comedy is a profession. Okay?
Yes.
So that's it. You see it as a means to make money and something you love doing, but not as a physical thing that's going to pull you through the pain. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes
Yeah,
100%
it does.
sense.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I mean, I feel like I'm a better person right now. I'm gonna tell my girl, don't listen to her. Don't listen to her. I feel like I'm a better person right now. I'll try more to, face it and not just laugh through it. Yeah.
You should laugh.
I should laugh, but I'll try not to laugh at my problems.
Yeah, we have a saying like, if you don't laugh, you're gonna cry.
Exactly, and
cry.
nobody wants
Yeah.
to
But
cry.
Maybe it's important for us to cry from time to time. And I
Yeah.
think that's what
Okay.
Eileen is saying is like, face your fears. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable and
And
face
going
your
through
emotions.
Don't
all
see
those
vulnerability
steps.
as weakness.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. But
You are a strong girl. You are a powerful girl.
No, but
You got
sometimes I
this.
really need to see vulnerability as weakness and be okay with that. We can't be in Bogotos every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So thank you for that.
Thank you for
You're
that,
welcome.
Eileen. So now we're going to call on Mpume, who is our resident DJ. She also is the glow getter. She goes after her dreams, her goals, every single thing that is on her path. She is determined to conquer. But at what cost? Her mental health? Let's find out more about Mpume and dissect it. But first, let's watch her journey.
To whom it may concern, I'm writing to you wholeheartedly recommending Mpumi for the sound engineering bursary. Mpumi is an exceptionally talented and dedicated individual. Her passion for music and sound engineering is evident in everything she does. She has demonstrated resilience, creativity. Mpumi has faced numerous challenges, but she has always risen above them with grace and determination. Her ability to overcome obstacles and her dedication to self-improvement makes her an outstanding candidate for this bursary. Your program will be better for having such a brilliant young woman. Yours truly, Yvette Swanepoel.
Ngicabangani? Yes, wena. Angikholwa ukuthi wena lo sisi. Yeah. Angikholwa ukuthi ukwazile ukubeka ubaba wakho in the past where he belongs. Manje sesophila impilo right. Going forward ngeke sisaphila ngencindezi yokuthi akekho empilweni yakho. Ithuba lakho leli. Ithuba lakho lokuthi ucelebrate uMpume omusha. You are strong. You are beautiful. You are free and you are safe. Phambili ngeke.
Mpumelelo, Bazung. I think one of the most emotional moments you could ever have is hearing the beautiful words that people around you have to say about you, your character, and the way that you treat them.
I know, right? I think that's why she got so emotional, because it's just like she didn't know that about herself, I guess. Like hearing that about yourself from someone else is something, So, yeah.
Eileen, help us unpack why would hearing from someone around you some nice words of affirmation, nice things about you, nothing
hectic.
bad or
Yeah.
hectic. Why would something like that cause such a strong emotional reaction?
It's lack of self. Like,
Yeah.
when we feel like we're not enough, we chase for affirmations. We chase for people to acknowledge us. It's fear of rejection. It could stem from something that happened as a child or something as stupid as someone forgetting to hug you goodbye, because you attach that to rejection. It's one of those things. But this takes me back to, there's a movie I watched, and it was very interesting. So this gentleman was an alcoholic throughout his life. And then he always told his daughter, like, there's a monster in the closet, you must be scared. And in the end, he was on his deathbed. And he said to the daughter, please come here. I want you to let go of all your fears. Because there is no monster in the closet. I was afraid of myself. I am the monster in the closet.
Wild.
So often we create all of these negative things around us and we start fearing ourselves and we don't understand it. And that's where, you know, this I am love. My 3-year-old even does her affirmations. In the morning we do I am love, I am. However, I have taught them to do gratitude over affirmation. Because when they're able to be grateful for what they have, they understand who they become. So when they lack, they're still able to see the good. So I've noticed that a lot of people can stand in front of a mirror and say, I am, but are you?
Yeah.
You know, it's just words. But when you say, I am grateful, even if it's for the smallest thing, you will realize that you become the grateful person in every circumstance.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
affirmations are amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm for them all the way. However, I just feel that a lot of people have so much noise in their heads that they can't even hear the affirmations they say.
Yeah.
So that's why self-love, self-work, and most importantly, self-acceptance and forgiveness. But I think the acceptance above everything, because you can't forgive yourself if you don't accept yourself.
Yeah.
You know, accept your mistakes, accept your past. And I mean, her being a hustler and her wanting things, it also shows that she's very hard on herself.
Yeah.
You know, she doesn't give herself grace for the failures. And you should celebrate the failures as much as you celebrate the wins, because it means you tried something new.
Yeah, true.
That's
So,
good.
yeah.
I think you've touched on where I wanted to go next. I just wanted to ask, what are some of the positive ways in which to deal with like self-worth or come to like understanding self better? Like for the youth out there, what are some of the sort of methods that they can use to be aware of that or come to terms with that?
To be honest, I feel that it all starts firstly with the parents. Look at your parents as humans. Don't look at, and it's very important when I'm saying this, because the 20-year-old version of who I am and the almost 40-year-old version of who I am
almost.
now
Almost.
is I'm two different versions of a parent. And if my kids hold the 20-year-old version against me,
That's tough.
that is wrong. Because then I did what I did when I knew what I did. What I knew then. And now I know better. So we often as adults look at our parents and say, yeah, they put me through this and they put me. But do you ever stop and think, what was mom going through? What was dad going through? What was his thought process? What brought him to those decisions? And let it go. And when we start letting go those things that we hold on to from the past is when we start to heal the inner child that can now face the version of who you are now.
Yeah.
I look, you feel like I want you to add psychic to your bio, because you've literally spoken into every single element of her life, from having an unsupportive mother who clearly is still working through a couple of things. And I think we learned in one of the episodes that the mom is still processing some trauma of her own.
Yeah.
She's got a father who's absent. There's a lot of hustling happening. She's touching and going and doing a lot. So there is a lot of noise. And I think that's why she hasn't been able to kind of
But that's
get
why
to
she
herself.
cried.
Yes.
And so she didn't cry because of what those people said. She cried because she's so used to being rejected.
Yes.
So that was affirmation of acceptance. So her tears were like, oh my God, they see me, because she does not feel seen.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I need you to sit with him after this, because I want to call Grace in. I really would love for us to unpack, because I think she's the one who's got the biggest cobweb of spiders and things in her mind. But I think you've definitely spoken to the girl, and you will be outside. Okay, man. You need this. You need more tools.
much.
You need
Yes,
all the help that you can get,
Yes,
because
yeah.
we're going to need you.
And there is a Mpume out there. So
There
this
is
is
a Mpume.
just not for me, but also
Yeah.
other people out there. So this was very useful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Be
Yes.
blessed. Thanks.
All right, it's time to call in our daddy's little engineer, Miss Grace, who finds herself in a web of lies, we can call it, because she just cannot come to terms with her own truth, who she is and herself, and accepting herself. So let's call Grace in and hopefully help her towards that journey of self-acceptance.
Oh, I completely forgot about the kids doing the decorations inside.
It's okay, I checked. They're on it. I decided to come check in on you and bring you a sandwich.
Thanks, Losh. I'll eat it in a bit.
Eat it now. I know you haven't.
Right?
Grace, did you do this to yourself?
It's nothing.
Amen. Grace, you know that this event is going to work out, ne? Nobody has ever done something like this in our community.
Yeah, but what if no one shows up? And I need to raise money for the security gates, and Miss Jabavu, she can just pull out of the center, and then it will shut down, and it will all be because I can't just...
Grace, You need to breathe. Honestly, you need to slow down. You can't keep on trying to fix everything and making everybody happy. It's exhausting to watch. Now tell me, you're not doing this for the fellowship anymore. Why are you doing it?
It's bigger than me.
I know it's bigger than you, but you need to find something that's gonna give you joy. Even if it's small, even if it's big. Because if you don't, you're gonna crash. Open, eat. Hey, Grace. Hey, Gala. Huh? Hey, is she okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, hurry up. Let's go to the center before the people start arriving.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the series by now, I know what you just watched just shocked you. So you need to go back and catch up on the show. But from the beginning, when we meet this character, it starts with the center closing down. She gets anxious. She lies to her father. She gets anxious. Now there's a boy, another level of anxiety. And it's just a lot happening. And while these sessions here are quite short, I really want to encourage you to reach out to Big Sis on 0600 747837 and let her know what your concerns are. And she'll talk you through it the same way you see us talking through it today. But on the couch, we've got Miss Gracie. Hello, Grace.
Hi,
This right
buddy.
here is Miss Eileen, and she's going to fix your life.
Oh, I hope
Welcome to
so.
your therapy
Oh my
session.
goodness. That's one person, or me, who needs all of the therapy and all of the help. So it's like experiencing all of the stress and all of the pressure from her parents, from her family, all these expectations. She literally like is trying to hold everything in her hands, and now it's like the center's closing down, she's raising a fundraiser, and now you just see that there's a boy, like, who she's been running away from, because she's just like, I'm not ready for that type of intimacy with someone, and now she is actually willing to explore that, and now it just slips through her fingers and she just collapses. And now you're like wondering, what is this moment? Like, what is happening to her? What is she experiencing, and what's going on in her head, in her body? I hope she's fine. But the anxiety levels and the nervousness just picked up so much. And that just makes me wonder, is there a difference between nervousness and anxiety? And like, how do you know what's the difference?
Okay, but well, I think let's first take it a step back. She has all these things happening, right? She has failure, and what's deemed as failure. Let's not call it failure. But remember, it's not failure, it's an obstacle. And I mean, if you look at it, like, you know, if you take an obstacle, you can either put it in front of you and get stuck, or you can step on top of it and go up and try something new and try it again, but change the method. So it depends on perspective. Okay, firstly. Secondly, the part where she's not getting anxiety is nerves, anxiety, all the same thing. The only difference is anxiety can physically kill you.
Are you dead? You might be dead after all.
So bad for you. Like, I mean, because it affects
that.
your nerves. I mean, when I say physically kill you, it will kill like your ability to do things. Remember, like, you become scared to do things. And anxiety is literally a thought. It's a thought, and it's becomes an action, then it becomes a state of mind, and then it becomes a way of doing things.
It ripples into everything else.
That's what I mean by it can kill you, because it will stop your growth completely.
Yo.
So when I had anxiety, it was so bad, I ended up in the hospital.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it was really bad. I thought I was having a heart attack. And afterwards, I'm like, okay, how do I learn how to now deal with, my anxiety attacks? Because it would get to the point where I can't breathe, and then I'm like lightheaded, and then I started talking to my anxiety. So if I'd get attacked, I'm like, okay, why are you here? What am I nervous about? Is this how I feel? Is it a real emotion? Is it a thought? Is it necessary? Nah. And I started training my brain how to so when a negative thing would come, I would say to the thought, you're just a thought. You're just a thought. And then when my brain would fetch it, my brain would be like, it's a thought, take it back. So the anxiety stopped.
I see.
So even when I'm having, if I have something that triggers my anxiety, I'm like, okay, I stop and I'm like, okay, what am I anxious about right now? How do I face it? How do I deal with it? And then it's gone. But it's literally learning how to talk to your thoughts.
Is that almost like speaking to yourself, just
Yes.
like having a conversation?
Identifying it. Like
Oh.
literally you have a conversation with yourself. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, what am I? Because for me to have an anxiety attack, I must have thought about something. So something doesn't have to happen.
Like a
But
trigger.
I thought about something that
Okay.
triggered my anxiety. So I'm like, okay, what is it about this environment? It could be the color of your dress. That could trigger a memory. And then I'm like, okay.
That's a lot.
So yeah. It's
I think maybe the difference between then this situation, what you're prescribing for her, and Tabby Singh in the beginning, who's the comedian, is that Tabby Singh jokes about the situation, but she
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily name it and call it to order.
to order, yes.
So what you're saying is we must name it, call it to order, because we are in charge.
That's important. You know, like the one thing that I've learned about dealing with one's, let's call it emotional baggage, and when we say baggage, it's the things we carry with us, right? Is you're going to have to throw it on the floor, face it, and pick it back up. And take back with you the things you want. Do I need this?
That's good.
How does it serve me? How does it help me? Is it going to carry me forward? Nope, chuck it. So, and it's daily. Like when I did the meditations that I did, when I tell you it was rough, like I would sit and I would call up a memory, and I did this in groups as well with the ladies, and I'd call up a memory. And it's painful because we all try and avoid it.
Yes,
I'd call up a memory, I'd call up a person even, and I would meditate this
That's so
person.
deep.
And I would talk to them and say, listen, I felt this way with you, you hurt me here. And I would do that every single day until the hurt went.
Can you walk us through that process of meditation? Like, what does it look like? If I wanted to start meditating, what would the steps be for me?
So it's just basically sitting in a quiet place, breathing in, breathing out, getting still. But then you have to now visualize a place, a color. And this place and color, like the color basically becomes your breathing. Then you ground yourself. And then you visualize the trees, the birds. So you'll start hearing everything. Then you call this person up into your memory or an event. And you just talk to it. It doesn't even have to be an event. It can be an emotion. And you talk to that emotion. You know, what we find is like a lot of young girls or young people, or people generally, even old ones, make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Is that what we do is people are like, but why is this happening again? So we always attract the things we think we don't want, but we don't realize that we haven't let go of the things we don't want.
I see.
So getting to a point where you let go of something that doesn't serve you, make sure that you're not going to attract another thing that doesn't serve you. So it's just learning how to truly unpack it and accept it for what it is. You know, I mean, it happened, but is it mine to hold on to? It's an experience, eh? It's not a life sentence.
That's so good. And I think beyond it being yours to hold on to, is it a good thing to hold on
No,
to?
it's not
or is it something
necessary.
you should let go of? I feel like you're somebody who just has a lot of quotes. And
Just
walks
sitting
around
there
like a Bible of sayings and things to do.
But it was so good though.
Everything that you say
Yes.
can be
You
quoted.
quoted,
It's that
yes.
good. So I want to introduce you to a segment on our show. It's called the Hot Seat segment. And basically I'm going to ask you one question and you've got 60 seconds to nail this question. Give us the best quote of Miss Eileen Lwando Smith. Are you ready?
I don't have codes.
Okay, you don't have quotes, but I believe in you. You're going to create one right now. So the question is, what do you know now about mental wellness that you wish you had known at 20?
You never stop healing, and pain doesn't choose age.
You just take a
Is there
moment.
silence in the room?
Yo.
What can you qualify that statement?
She said 60 seconds.
Okay, so she said like just small
Okay,
qualification.
well, but think about it. Doesn't if a 4-year-old loses a loved one, he goes through pain versus a 50-year-old.
It's still the same pain.
That's why we have to be kind to people, because it does not choose age.
Sure. That is so good.
Harky.
I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to rewatch this episode and take notes because there's a lot to learn.
A lot
and
to take
unpack.
down.
Where can we get in contact with you if we wanted more of these quotes? Just
Through you guys.
through us. Wink. That's right. So please follow us at JiK'iZiNTO
There we
_ZA on all social media platforms. But Miss Eileen, it's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you. I think you've given us quite a lot to think about.
You're
Everything.
welcome.
Reflect
Thank
on.
you.
The room is hot. It's silent because we all are just,
You just finished
marinating in our thoughts.
Yeah.
Thank you as well, Grace, for being vulnerable and sharing your character's heart and emotions with us.
Yeah,
but
you.
yeah, this is episode 13. This is
Could
how.
I ask Grace a quick
Yes,
question?
you absolutely can.
What did you take from your character?
What I took from her is that anxiety can really hold you back from doing things and being yourself. Who is she really if she's only been stuck in her own anxiety? And I think that's what it taught me.
It's like you are here. That is so wild. Yo, and why did you ask that question?
Oh, and I just felt like I needed to ask her because I could tell from the way she was speaking that experience through the show transformed a certain aspect of her.
You said I said psychic.
No, don't. See?
She's looking at me, she's analyzing.
I feel this energy.
I promise
I'm
you, all I
feeling.
do is listen and pay attention. Listening, that's why they say listening is a
Skill. You've learned something today.
Yeah.
Thank you once again
You're
for your
most
time.
welcome.
Ma'am, let's finish before they start reading more of our deep dark secrets. But it is episode 13. This is how we wrap up the podcast. But remember, at the end of the day, this show can only come back if you make your voice heard. So make sure that you leave us some comments. Let us know what you thought of the season. But more than that, go back and watch the episodes. We've got 13 entire episodes that you can watch. Track a journey. Find a character that you relate to. Throw yourself into their story, and maybe when you come back to episode 13 of this podcast, you'll find yourself getting the answers that you've always been looking for. My name is Barbara, and it's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you. Hopefully, we'll see you in season 2. Mwah!